Alright everybody, today we have a Diamond 5 Ana on PC on Oasis, and our comment for this game is: near the end of the game my tank said I was the problem, but I don't think I was. So we're obviously going to look at that. Just before we start this video, I actually want to take you through a very quick thinking exercise. If I could just have you ask yourself, what is Ana's win condition? What does Ana do to win the game? I just want you to take 5 seconds, figure out your answer to that. It's honestly not that hard. I think everyone will be able to get it, but we're gonna watch like 5 seconds of gameplay and then I'll tell you. Alright, if you said anything in the realm of hitting your cooldowns or sleeping, anteing people, that's literally your win condition. That's how you're gonna win. It differs based on comp to comp, on how much you're going to need to use sleep aggressively versus defensively, how much you want to use nade aggressively and defensively. These are all variable factors, but in general, we are looking to hit our cooldowns on enemies frequently. I used to be of the mindset that holding them to stay alive longer is better, because Ana does do a lot of work while she's alive without cooldowns, and specifically I mean holding sleep more and then throwing nade a lot. But I have since reformed into a throw the cooldowns pretty much anytime you think you can hit somebody and it will be effective. We'll talk about it. Let's just get into the replay. First off, where are we going? Where are we going, right? Our entire team. This is interesting. Our entire team is over here, right? We need to be in LOS of our team. Maybe rotating to height here is your idea. I'm not really sure. We're going to see, obviously. But unless you're communicating with your team and telling them this is what you're doing, I would say this is just not a good rotation, because a lot of the time your team won't have LOS on where you want to fight. So they'll either walk too far or they'll get pushed back since you're not with them. But if you tell them like, hey, rotate to point, I'm going to play safe, I guess it's fine. Okay, Zendai's not really your fault. He's AFK or something? I'm not really sure, but you now know they have a Sombra. You now know they have a ball. I would immediately be making adjustments in my head to how I want to play, right? What is an adjustment you would want to make in this composition? Think about it for a sec, pause the video. You need to either play closer to your team, which is probably the easiest thing to do, or your other support, so that when you get in trouble from the Sombra or the ball, you have help. Or you need to be really good at hitting sleep. Those are your only options, alright? So be thinking about that. In general, unscoped shots, I recommend just using unscoped as much as you can get away with, but when you need to hit shots, you need to scope in. So the disadvantages of scoping are reduced movement speed and reduced field of view. Those are really big disadvantages, honestly, and a lot of people don't understand that you need to be able to hit shots unscoped. But if someone really needs healing, you have to scope in. Your accuracy is going to be better scoped in, so don't be afraid to do that. Also, we feel a little lost right here. I'm not really sure what this is, right? Right, our uptime is really low. We're not really doing a lot of damage. We're not really doing a lot of healing. We're not really hitting impactful abilities, right? We sleep the ball, but he's full health and he's away from our team. We nade the Alari, but she's also not in any danger of dying. We're the only one shooting her. And now we're forced into a bad position with no cooldowns. We've also just not really been doing healing or damage, right? So not really a great start for us, especially in Diamond 5. Good sleep. Oh, why no nade? Just throw the nade early there. Summer's already dead, right? Oh, maybe you didn't have it? 2 seconds? Okay, didn't have it. Unfortunate. Realistically, this position is better mid-fight when the Sombra's dead. I'm okay with it as long as your Hognose are up here, but like early in the match, this just wasn't really where you needed to be, right? You needed to be contributing. So yeah, positioning is something we are really going to watch out for here. Alright, damage was not too bad. They're only at 40%. We're coming up on ult. Usually I'll say, you know, what counters your ult or what prevents you from getting value. Think about that before you use it. Ana doesn't have too many things to worry about in that regard, right? She's more worried about how to get the most value because Nano is pretty much always valuable. And a lot of Anas will just default to throwing it on the tank. I honestly don't hate that, but you're really going to want to think about what is, like, do I have any combos available? You check your lineup, not really, right? Hanzo's not a great target. Kiriko's obviously not a great target. So we're mainly looking to nano our Venture or our Hog, depends on who's weak, depends on who's in a position to get the kills. We can nano our Hanzo if he's like low and needs saving, but in general, we're going to be looking for a Hog, we're going to be looking for our Venture, and we're going to know that before the fight starts, right? We're going to think about that before it ever happens, so that when it happens, we're already ready for it, okay? Nade, alright, perfect, right? We're looking for, you're cooked by the way. We're looking for nades, we're looking for sleeps. This is not the first nade you've thrown at me, I think it's actually like the third or fourth. But this is the first nade I feel like is very impactful, right? It's not like the nade on the Alaria up here. It's not like the sleep on the ball in the hallway. These are the nades we're looking for. We just need to be in a less vulnerable position when we do it, right? You can kind of see why this is a vulnerable position. I'd be extremely surprised if you live here, especially considering the fact that you just use your nade. Where's our Kiriko, by the way? There she is. All right. Let's watch, see if you live. Cooked. And the thing is that the ball didn't even actually kill you. Check this out. I think it was Ash. One shot. Right. So you don't even die because of Minefield and Slam. Well, technically Slam kills you. You're dead because you're out of position. Right? Ash is shooting you while you're doing this. That's why you're dead. And being the first one dead in the fight as Ana is catastrophically horrible, and we need to not do this. And so the way we can avoid this is just by playing in a safer position. My preferred position on this map is usually like in this area, right? Pretty good cover. If they have a Sombra, I'm going to be really aware of playing next to this wall. So that when Sombra goes to hack me, I can immediately LOS the virus that follows up. So I'll get hacked, but I'll get behind this wall and I'll usually be safe from virus. In normal matches, you don't really have to worry about that. You can kind of just chill back here. Decent angle to splash nades on both staircases and in their hookah area. And then you can rotate to height if your team is being very aggro. You can push up here and kind of scope in this long angle. So that's what I would be doing. We're definitely not here, right? All right. Little nade from spawn. I like it. Good. Playing cover. Okay. I see what you're going for, right? I see what you're going for. We're going for a nade. I understand. Just make sure when you use it that there is follow-up on it and that you're not going to die because of it. I'm okay with Ana's taking short off angles or even flanks to hit big nades, but only when there's follow-up. Also, I want you to just press tab in game, realize that they're ball swap to a Hog, and realize that they don't have a cleanse for this Hog. So now that's kind of what you need to be anti-ing, is just their Hog. Also, another thing I haven't seen us do yet is combo nade or sleep with hook. It's a huge thing. Like if my Hog hits a hook in my games, I will be throwing my nade at whatever got hooked. I don't even care what it is. The nade is hitting whatever gets hooked. Something we should be watching out for. Hasn't really happened yet though. Big nade. I think we should have gone for sleep earlier. On any of these targets, hitting a sleep would be impactful here. Also, LOSing our Hog to get a nano here would be huge. or even getting nano on the venture if we need it. We're up 2, so we don't really need it. In fact, we can probably save the nano here. But we don't want our hog to die, and we're also rotating like really far out of cover. So you can see this is our cover. This is a very good line of sight where you are here. But imagine if anyone shows up here, right? This isn't good for us. Or if Sombra shows up behind us, this isn't good for us. So this isn't a bad position. You just need to be aware of these things, especially if you're scoped in, right? The more you scope in, the easier it is for them to kill you. Oh boy. How could you have won this? Pause the video, because I'm about to say how you could have won this. It's so easy. You actually almost had it, right? You just need to W key the Sombra and hit the nade on both you and her. That's what you need to do, right? And so you're in range to do that. You just threw the nade at Sombra instead of in the middle, but throw the nade in the middle and I promise you you're gonna win this. Also focus on your counter strafing a little bit more. We're in diamond now. We can focus on our movement. Anna's best movement is going to be AD strafing with no crouching, because crouching really slows down her hitbox movement. But she has a lot of head movement if you're good at AD strafing. So if we focus on that instead of running in straight lines like we're doing, it's going to be a lot easier for us to survive these encounters, right? And especially like if you had hit the nade on yourself, you would be, I think, what is it now? Like 90 HP? Like 90 HP healthier, and Kiriko would be able to keep you up, right? A general tip I have against Sombra for kind of all players, support, DPS, doesn't really matter, is that the best counter to Sombra is just always being ready to be hacked. And I know that's like crazy for some people to think about, right? But if there's a Sombra on the enemy team, I'm just waiting to be hacked for the entire game. I'm just sitting there like I'm like planning what I'll do before I get hacked, right? And that's a reason why a lot of top players won't get killed by Sombra as much as low rank players. Low rank players will complain a lot, and this isn't low rank, right? But you understand what I mean. Lower than my rank. A lot of players will just complain about the fact that she's permanently invisible and that there's no counterplay. It's not fun. And I understand what they're saying, but the counterplay is literally just like being ready with a plan if you get hacked, right? So what's my plan? If she's close to me, I'll immediately nade, right? If she's close to me, I'll immediately nade, hit me and her. It'll also cancel the hack animation. If she doesn't start with a hack, if she starts with a virus, I'll go for sleep first. And if I hit the sleep, I'm totally fine. If I don't hit the sleep, then I still have nade. You just need to be ready for it, right? It's unfortunate. I don't know if you did this on purpose, but I'm assuming you were like trying to nano hog and you just... I mean, the thing is, hog is too far, right? So even though he was in your LOS for a little bit, you're not in range to nano him. And so if you did nano this Hanzo on purpose, then yeah, maybe ask yourself why you did this and what we're hoping to get out of this. Right, he's not about to die. They're using a lot of ults right now, right? And so this is a little more complicated of a concept, but sometimes you can just lose a fight because they have a lot more ults, and we don't want to commit our ults to try and gain that advantage back. Let them use 3 ults, use 0, and then come back in the next fight with your ult, Hanzo ult, Kiriko ult, Venture ult, right? So much easier than trying to like win a fight where they're committing everything and they've already killed 2 of our teammates. Also, running in after 2 of your teammates dies is a little questionable here, right? Especially with our tank being one of the ones dead. This fight is almost never winnable. And you can just kind of feel it after enough. Like, I'm sure there's people watching this VOD who can feel it as well. They just committed too many resources and the fight is not winnable. It's just a feel thing. You'll get it after you play a lot. And so when that happens, it's time to leave. You can poke for damage, poke for ult, try and hit a sleep, try and hit a nade, whatever, right? But we're leaving. We're not going in, because if you stagger yourself here, it just makes it harder. It gives your team less chances to win because you get less fights because you spend more time respawning, right? Which is exactly what you're doing right here. And maybe you, wow, you guys actually could kill Hog. Maybe you don't get punished for it in this game, but as you get better, the enemy team will get better and better about punishing your mistakes. And this is a mistake where high elo players, once you get through Diamond and you start creeping up to Masters, you will just get punished for this every time. They're going to be like, Anna's feeding, we don't know what she's doing, let's just go and kill her. And all 5 of them will walk on you and you will die, right? I don't really care if it works in this VOD, it's a mistake. Now your nade was good, it allows you to kill Hog, but again, that's because their Hog is making bad plays. He's walking at an Ana with her cooldowns with a basically full vape while he's 100 HP, right? Like, good players aren't going to do this. And you can see like just how many mistakes that even players in Diamond are making. There's so many mistakes to capitalize on. You just have to be able to recognize them. This was one of the ones you recognized. But you being in this position, like, not good. And you're only alive because the enemy's also not very good. That's okay, right? I'm not like shaming your play, but... Okay, bailout of the Sentry. What's our issue here? Tell me what our issue is. I'm gonna go back 10 seconds. Just watch it again. It's so, you know, it's clear as day. I don't think I need to talk about it. Is this the position that Ana wants to play in? Right? Running it at 2 DPS and turning your back on both supports. And now this, at this point, Moira's, you know, trying to avoid dragon or whatever, but you have basically put yourself in a pincer. Not something we want to do. We're kind of playing behind our team, so we don't always need to be a million miles back sniping, but we usually don't want to be the first one in, right? Usually. So you don't die, but you have to use cleanse because of it. That's fine. Cleanse was probably going to get used anyways. And you also are just not sure who's able to see you and who's able to shoot you, so you nade yourself. That was a mistake, but kind of understandable because you put yourself in a position where it's very easy to die, so might as well just be safe about it. Imagine if we're in a safer position and we have a nade for this fight, and we can hit the splash nade, we can keep our teammate up, or we're in a safer position, we can go for like a crazy sleep on this Alari, maybe hit it. Probably not, but right, it would be really impactful if we did. We have a Hog. If we sleep anyone, our Hog gets a free kill. We haven't really done that yet. Your Kiriko's full health. What are you doing? Good nade. I'm fine with the sleep attempt. I think it is a really low percentage chance shot on this like someone in a movement ability. We can probably wait an extra second, but you might have just used it before she cast and then had to try and flick. No, you definitely went for the shot. It's fine. Honestly, I don't hate it. In general though, it's going to be easier to sleep someone who's already on the ground and just like walking. And then yeah, our big mistake is coming up, right? We make 2 consecutive or concurrent mistakes here. I want you to try and figure out what they are. But yeah, we're in scope when we don't need to be in scope, right? These people are not in urgent need of healing. And so basically anytime you don't need to be in scope, I just wouldn't be in scope. And then we're also not playing cover. We know that people are coming back from these staircases. We don't know which one, but we know that there are people here, right? We just seen them here. And so you can take cover from both of these staircases from this pillar. Or you can try and rotate to here in time. I don't know if you would have made it here in time. I think playing on the point is probably fine. You just needed to be in cover with the pillar. So 2 things you could have done to live here, and you just get absolutely shredded. This is why, guys, this is why I tell you that scope is just not really something you want to spend a lot of time in. And that's been one of my biggest problems as an Ana player. Just for reference, for those of you who don't know, I'm currently top 200-ish. It's still like mid-season, so this is going to drop. I'll probably end near the like edge of top 500. But Ana is one of my most played supports, right? 60% win rate on her right now in top 500. And then all competitive seasons, right? My most played by far. And so being in scope is something I have a lot of experience with. It's comfortable, it's easy, you like being able to hit shots, but it's not worth dying. It's not worth losing that field of view, right? Alright, let's move on. There's already just a lot of things we could have done this game to have already secured this round, basically. Now, is it your sole fault that you are losing this game? No, definitely not. But could you have made the impact to win this game? Yes, definitely you could have, right? If you played a little bit better, you could have already won this round. Good touch. That was a good touch. When you are walking up for touch, you don't need to be jumping. You're just basically making a lot of extra noise and put in like telling them where you're coming from. Right? We can just crouch up here. We have a little bit of time, and then when we try and get on the point, we can actually make the sleep. Not a whole lot we're really going to do about that. They have more resources than us. We also, one of our supports dies getting touch. It happens. Not really much you can do about this fight, but there was a lot of stuff you could have done about fights before this, right? So we're just going to move on to the second round and see how that one goes. Alright, we are back on Zen. I haven't talked about this yet, but scouting is a really big part of playing any character in the game. I think it's like very undervalued, scouting. But you want to just play like you're in the most dangerous situation until you figure out what they have. So, right, I like to say that I play not every single game, but like every time I remember this, which is most games, like they have a Sombra and a Widowmaker until I am sure that they don't have a Sombra or a Widowmaker, right? Because peeking a long angle and immediately getting headshot is a great way to lose the first fight, or not being aware or not being ready to be hacked is also a great way to lose the first fight. So scouting their DPS, trying to figure out what they have, going to be important. Team communication helps a lot with that, but you can, I mean, just audio cues, visual cues, or literally seeing the character on your screen will help with that as well. Second time this game. It's been 6 minutes, including 2 periods where we're in spawn, right? So maybe 5 minutes of in-game time, 4.5 minutes of in-game time. We've already died twice. Like not died twice, the first one dead twice. And so yes, there is a lot of room to improve here, and this is probably why your tank is frustrated with you, right? You're just running it down at multiple people and just getting picked off, and there's just no need for this. You just didn't have to do this, right? I understand that like high ground is good. I say high ground's good. I say off angles are good. But if it's contested like this, you just don't need to be there. And there was plenty of time for you to realize that this was contested and you could have left, and you just didn't, right? This, you see them. You could hear them way before this, by the way. I don't know what headphone situation we're working with here, but you can hear them way before this. Like, I heard the trap there. I don't know if you heard the trap there. You can see the Moira spraying the Sombra before you ever get there. And we're just the first one dead, right? And it's just completely unnecessary. So the less you can do that, the better. You see your team's going to lose this first fight, and that fight is 100% on you. You know what they have now, though. You know they have a Sombra. You know they have a Hog. Honestly, they had a Hog for like over half of the last round, and I don't know if we hit a single cooldown on him. I don't know if we hit one. I honestly can't remember us hitting a cooldown on the Hog. I hate to say it, guys, but if you're playing against a Hog, you can kind of just farm him. It's kind of free. You can play behind your Hog so that you don't get hooked, and then like peek corners on. It sounds crazy. I know this is crazy, guys, but this works in top 500. It's going to work in Diamond. You peek close angles when he doesn't have hook, hit a sleep on him. If they have a Kiriko, she's gonna Suzu him. If she doesn't Suzu him, he gets hooked. And then they Suzu him. And then after the Suzu comes out, you hit a free anti and you kill him every time. Like, it works even if they have a Kiriko. Go for sleep first, go for anti second. In this case, they don't even have a Kiriko. If you hit sleep on any of these people, Hog gets a hook, and then you anti the person that he hooks. And if he's not there to hook, you sleep them, you wait till they're about to wake up, or wait until your teammates are shooting them, then anti. It's still a free kill, right? So many ways for us to get value in this. Like we basically are the team's carry factor. We just have to make it work. We have to make it happen. We have to hit our nades. We have to hit our sleeps. We can't be the first one dead. Late on the nade. You kind of knew he was going to need help there, right? I would say if you're not sure whether you need it or not, you just need to use it. It's better to what's the saying? Like, need it, not have it, than have it, not need it. I don't know if that really applies here. That I just kind of spit that out. But if your tank gets hooked, it's always a good time to throw a nade, because not only will it hit your tank, who is inevitably going to get shot by 3 to 5 people, it will also hit the enemy tank and anyone who's out of position playing right next to the enemy tank. Which in this case is nobody, right? But even hitting the nade on their hog, he's going to have to back up. Your hog's going to get healed up, right? Now, is it your fault that your hog got hooked? No, it's not. Could you have saved him? Yes. Right? 2 fights in a row, we could have had a big impact and we didn't. And a lot of this is coming down to different things. So like, we have positioning mistakes happening in this replay. We have ability usage mistakes happening in this replay. We also, like, I think we used 1 nano last round on the Hanzo. I want to say only 1, maybe it was 2, and I just have a short-term memory. But like, our nano usage was like extremely questionable, right? So a whole lot of stuff to work on. In scope too long, right? I know you're hitting shots, but this is a perfect example of why you just can't scope in for too long. Good players or better players than this Alari would have already killed you. Or imagine if Sojourn peeks around the corner instead of Alari, right? You're dead. So 2 body shots and a headshot. If she hits 2 headshots and a body shot, you're done. Or if their Sojourn peeks with her, you're done. Or if their Sombra or Moira have long range damage, you're also dead already, right? Please just group up. Even if you hit that sleep, nothing's gonna happen. Your tank is in spawn, I think. Where's our tank? Nope. Okay, our tank is back. I lied. So if your tank is where your tank is, I'm fine with your sleep attempt, as long as you knew that your tank was able to follow up on it. I personally wasn't really tracking when your tank was coming back as accurately as I should have been. That's why I said it was useless. It's not useless, but just make sure you know where your follow-up is. Because if your tank wasn't here right now, there would be absolutely no follow-up even if you slept them. And I know I just said you need to use your cooldowns and hit this hog, but you need to use your cooldowns and hit this hog when your tank is there to, like, help you confirm this kill, basically. I need you to figure out, without me telling you or without me switching the screen, what just happened. I'm going to go back 5 seconds, and I need you to tell me what just happened. What was that noise? You heard like hog, like groan or grunt or something like that, right? If I look to my left right now, which I'm going to do, we're going to see our hog has gotten hooked by their hog and needs help. And we are the help, right? We are the help. What are we doing right now? I'm not really sure, right? Venture's full health. Soldier's full health. Frankly, I don't care about this damage. If we have nothing else to do, yeah, we can take care of this. But guess what? Imagine an anti-nade right here. Imagine. Like, what would that do? Now, your hog gives up. Not on you. But your hog is probably just tired of... I mean, he's getting hooked on cooldown, okay? So that's not on you, but you are, like, you can turn this fight every single time. If your hog gets hooked, you throw a nade. If he hooks someone else, you throw a nade or sleep. If he's walking towards the fight, you try and sleep somebody and then he gets a hook. There's just too many ways this could have gone right and it's not going to. And at this point the game's probably over. It's only 50-0, but your tank looks extremely tilted and doesn't look like he wants to win anymore. I would say you're not the only reason you lost, right? You're not the only reason you lost. Your hog cannot hit a hook on this guy before he gets hooked. He can't do it. But you are a big part of why, like, your tank is continuously losing this 1v1 despite getting hooked. Sometimes it's fine if your hog gets hooked because you get like free nades. I call them mutual nades, where you hit an enemy and a friendly. That's going to be one of the most valuable cooldowns in the entire game, right? And we're just not going for any of these opportunities we need to go for. Just be more aggressive. And by aggressive, I don't mean run at them. I don't mean actually I should say don't be more aggressive, because you're too aggressive a lot of the times. Like on first point when you ran at both of their DPS and then got a Lari ulted from behind, too aggressive. When you threw that nade when Ball had mines and you died early, too aggressive, right? So actually don't be more aggressive, but you need to find these opportunities that just keep happening over and over in game. You're always looking for a nade. You're always looking for a sleep. Like when you're running back from spawn, I want you to just be telling yourself, when am I going to nade? Like how am I going to hit a nade? How am I going to hit a sleep? How am I going to hit a nade? Who am I going to hit a sleep on? And then do it, right? That's how you win games. That's actually like the thought process I use in game sometimes. I need to hit a nade. Who do I hit it on? Where do I hit it on? And usually if I don't know, I'll nade their tank. Because even if you don't get a kill, you're going to get space from a nade. Right? Like hello? Hello? I don't know. You had to sleep earlier than that. You had to sleep earlier than that. You knew that was going to happen. Right there. That's where you needed to sleep. You're Zen. Absolutely nothing you can do about it. But guess what? You sleep him. You wait for Whole Hog to mostly go away. It's not going to completely go away. And then you nano your Malga. And then you're probably going to get this. I mean, okay, you might not get this kill, but you're definitely going to live through it, right? He's definitely going to live through it. He's going to put a ton of pressure on the hog. Instead, we wait. We don't use our cooldowns. We don't use our ult. Everyone dies. Now the fight's over. So what? We slept the hog, right? So what? It doesn't matter. Even better, if we didn't throw this random nade at the staircase, we sleep hog, nano our Malga, and then anti the hog when he wakes up. And then hog actually just has to walk back around the corner. And then we're in a 4v5. We have a nano Malga. We have close to DPS ults, right? We probably wouldn't win. Look at their ults, but just like there's just way more we could be doing, right? That's probably the end of the game. I can't imagine we even get a real fight. Somehow your Venture solo kills their hog. Oh no! Oh no! Step 1, nade. Step 2, if nade doesn't hit, panic ult is in. I'm fine with that. What is one thing you could have done to avoid using ult on this Zenyatta? There is something. Whether or not you're actually going to do this moving forward in the future is completely up to you. High level players will be doing this thing. Press tab. I love pressing tab. I love telling people to press tab. It gives you so much information that you otherwise won't have. It lets you know what heroes the enemy team is playing, whether or not they're swapping heroes mid-match. It helps you ult track if that's something you want to get into. Honestly, you have enough mistakes that I wouldn't worry about ult tracking right now. You need to fix positioning. You need to fix ability usage. You need to fix nano usage, right? These are all like fundamental aspects of playing Ana. Don't even worry about the whole ult tracking thing yet. If you're already doing it, then okay, keep doing it. But just you don't even have to ult track your teammates. Just press tab. You know he has Transcendence. You know he's not going to die with Transcendence. It is a little unfortunate. I don't like completely blame you for this, but it just sucks. It just sucks, right? We hate this. Good. That's how we get kills on Ana. Do that more often. I mean, she handed it to you. She was right on top of you. But basically, make that happen whether or not they give it to you. Hit your sleep, hit your nade. Or hit your sleep and then let your hog hook. Or hit your sleep and let your Rhine pin them. Or hit your sleep and let your Sombra hack them and then your team destroy. Right? There's just so many ways it can work. Alright. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Probably not going to save that guy. I don't even hate the angle you're taking here, honestly. Honestly, I don't hate it. Like, yeah, maybe if we're like staring at our Genji, we can potentially nade him, keep him alive. We don't even have a tank though. I'd prefer you just stay alive at this point. Maybe poke for ult if you can. It's kind of his fault for getting hacked here. It does really suck though for your team. Too late, too slow on the nade. It doesn't matter. Again, that guy's dead no matter what you do, but you can keep him alive for a little while longer. You lose this fight not because of your actions. You lose this fight because you're at a resource disadvantage. Good touch. You have to do it. You have to use your cooldowns when you do it faster, though. But that's I mean, that's literally all you can do. This fight's already over. I don't know why I'm reviewing this. Just go for the sleep as soon as you walk out. If you miss the sleep, go for the nade. If you hit the sleep, probably go for the nade on the non-sleeping target, right? Because you need to leave the target asleep. Game. Game. All right. I know I've already kind of recapped it this round, but what do we need to work on? Everything. Okay. How do we work on everything? The first thing you need to figure out is how to hit nades and hit sleeps on useful targets. That is how you win on Ana. This might be a bad replay for you. I'm sure that like you have games where you do this. Otherwise, you wouldn't make it to Diamond 5. Okay. Respectfully, if every game looked like this, you would not be in Diamond 5. So I'm going to assume this is a pretty rough game for you. But you need to sleep. You need to sleep things. You need to anti things when your team can follow up. That's literally kind of all you need to do at first to win games on Ana. Sure, sometimes you're going to want to save your sleep more, right? If they have Ball Sombra, I'm saving my sleep a lot. But if they have a Hog, and if they have a Sombra who's not really ever going on you in this game, I think she like might have never hacked you this entire game. Then we can be a lot more aggressive with our cooldowns. We're looking to combo our nade with like Hog Hook or a Reso. I mean, there's just like lots of combos, things like that. We're thinking about who we want to nano before we actually use nano. If I were you, I'd make like a list right now of like what I'm talking about so that it doesn't all just get lost, because this is actual advice that will make you better at the game. And just work on one thing at a time, right? So hitting nades and sleeps is going to be your #1 priority. Your #2 priority is going to be fixing your positioning. Sometimes you are just way too aggressive. You're just running it down at them. You're an Ana. Sometimes running it down works. A lot of the times running it down, especially if your tank is not there, is not going to work. You're just going to die. So yeah, ability usage, positioning, sometimes just too aggressive. Nano usage, figure out who you want to nano before the fight. You can do this by pressing tab, figuring out what ults you have to combo. If you don't have any ults to combo, I usually just default to using it on a low health target to save them. Although there are plenty of great top 500 Anas who just throw it on a teammate who's in a position to do damage. That's also fine. You kind of play nano by ear. That's all you need to work on for now. I wouldn't worry about anything else until you fix those things. These are like fundamental aspects of Ana, and I can see that like you have potential in your gameplay. You just need to bring it out more, right? You need to be making an impact, especially on the tank 1v1, which isn't really a 1v1 because he keeps getting hooked, but the tank 1v whatever. These are things that you could have done, right? So I hope you see that. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. My Discord is probably in the description. My Twitch is in the description. I do free live VOD reviews every Sunday. I also do paid coaching on my website, which is linked down below. That's where I got this VOD from. So if you want coaching, you can go down there. We still have promo code FIRST10 active for a couple more orders for 50% off your entire order. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. And without further ado, I don't know why I'm saying without further ado in an outro, but hope you enjoyed, and more importantly, hope you learned something. See you in the next VOD, and I'm out.